Men's health does not exist in a vacuum of self-sufficiency. It unfolds within a complex network of social, emotional, and biological connections, where the female environment acts as a catalyst or an inhibitor of life processes. Let's begin with basic neurobiology. Oxytocin, known as the hormone of attachment, is produced in the male body particularly actively during close contact with a woman. This neurotransmitter not only creates a sense of intimacy, it reduces cortisol levels, lowers blood pressure, and improves immune response. Studies show that married men live longer and have a lower risk of cardiovascular diseases compared to single men. Arthur Schopenhauer, despite his pessimism toward women, unconsciously described this phenomenon in The World as Will and Representation. He claimed that the will to live uses individuals for its own reproduction, but failed to notice that this same will creates biochemical mechanisms of mutual aid. Oxytocin is the material embodiment of what Schopenhauer called compassion as the basis of morality, only at the level of neurotransmitters. But the mechanism goes deeper than hormonal regulation. Women often serve as emotional regulators in relationships. Men's tendency toward alexithymia, the difficulty of recognizing their own emotions, is compensated by the female ability for empathic reading and verbalization of feelings. When a woman helps a man name what he experiences, she effectively activates his prefrontal cortex, reducing the activity of the amygdala, the center of fear and stress. Martin Heidegger wrote about being with others as a fundamental structure of human existence. What he described philosophically as Mitsein, being with, has a direct neurobiological basis. When a woman helps a man verbalize emotions, she performs what Heidegger called the disclosure of being, making visible what was previously hidden in experience. Social support, which women usually provide, directly affects telomerase, the enzymes that protect chromosomes from aging. Men who receive emotional support from their partners demonstrate slower cellular aging. This is not a romantic metaphor, but measurable biochemical processes. Emmanuel Levinas developed the ethics of the face of the other, arguing that true existence begins with responsibility for another person. It turns out, this philosophical intuition has biological justification. Telomerase literally prolongs the life of those who live in care for loved ones. Levinas could not have known about cell biology, but he intuitively grasped the link between ethical attitude and vitality. At the same time, female influence shapes male behavior regarding health. Statistics show that men are more likely to visit doctors when there is a caring woman in their lives. They adhere better to diets, take medications more regularly, and take fewer risks. This happens not through control, but through the activation of social responsibility. The man begins to perceive his health as a resource important not only for himself. The paradox lies in the fact that male biology is built for autonomy and self-preservation, yet psychological architecture requires an external emotional framework. The male serotonin system is less stable compared to the female, so external sources of emotional balance become critically important. Understanding this systemic nature helps to see the full picture. It is not merely the mental influence of women's health on men. It is a systemic, biological interdependence where the psychological, physical, hormonal, and even microbiological function as a single organism of the couple. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is triggered before consciousness even has time to notice anything. Jean-Paul Sartre, in Being and Nothingness, described the tension between being for itself and being for others. The male psyche embodies this paradox on a hormonal level. Biologically built for self-sufficiency, it requires external emotional recognition for proper functioning. Sartre saw this as a source of anxiety, but did not realize it is also a source of biological equilibrium. The negative side of this interdependence appears when relationships become toxic. Chronic stress from conflictual relations can lead to hypertension, sleep disorders, and immunodeficiency. The male body responds to the emotional distress of the partner with an increase in its own stress hormones, an evolutionary mechanism that once ensured the couple's survival. The mechanism of this toxicity has deeper roots than ordinary emotional stress. A woman's mental state directly affects her pheromonal profile. When a woman experiences chronic stress, depression, or anxiety, her body emits specific chemical signals, cortisol metabolites and altered steroid hormones. The male vomeronasal organ, even if rudimentary, still registers these changes at a subconscious level. Modern medicine increasingly views health as a systemic phenomenon, where individual indicators cannot be separated from the quality of close relationships. Men's health depends on women's health, not through weakness or inferiority, but through fundamental principles of human biology, where interconnection is the condition for optimal functioning. Let's look at these internal mechanisms in more detail and their practical applications. The male autonomic nervous system responds to a woman's voice by reducing sympathetic activity. When a woman speaks calmly and supportively, the parasympathetic system activates, heart rate slows, and breathing deepens. This occurs through the vagus nerve, the longest cranial nerve connecting the brain to the organs. High vagal tone correlates with better health, longevity, and stress resilience. Spinoza in Ethics wrote that joy increases the perfection of our nature, while sadness diminishes it. Activation of the parasympathetic system through a woman's voice is the literal embodiment of Spinoza's joy at the physiological level. The 17th century philosopher described what modern neuroscience measures in heart rate variability and respiratory frequency. Practically, this means if you notice physical relaxation after talking with your partner, your body is entering a recovery mode. This state can be consciously cultivated. Create moments for calm communication without gadgets or distractions. 15 minutes of such interaction daily activate restorative processes at the cellular level. The male gut microbiome changes under the influence of close contact with a woman. Through kissing, touching, and cohabitation, bacterial cultures are exchanged. The female microbiome is usually more diverse and stable, positively influencing male digestion, immunity, and even mood through the gut-brain axis. This exchange has another dimension often overlooked. If a woman has chronic inflammation, microbiome disturbances, or immune dysfunctions, these are transmitted to her partner through microbial exchange, shared food, and even the quality of air in their home. A woman's physical health affects her partner not only hormonally, but through the entire ecosystem of coexistence. Michel Serres, in his philosophy of mixing, argued that human existence is always hybrid, intertwined with other forms of life. The exchange of microbiomes between partners is the simplest example of what he called a contract with nature. We exist not as isolated subjects, but as ecosystems, constantly exchanging vital resources. Pay attention to changes in digestion and general well-being after spending extended time with your partner. If you notice improvement, it signals your body's adaptation to symbiotic processes. Maintain physical closeness not only as an emotional need, but as a biological necessity. Testosterone has a complex dependence on social context. Competition increases its level, but chronically high testosterone exhausts the adrenal glands. Female presence modulates this process, creating soft peak loads, short hormone rises followed by a return to baseline. This optimizes hormonal balance better than constant competition. If you feel aggression or excessive competitiveness, spend more time in calm communication with women in your environment. Not necessarily with your partner. Female friends, colleagues, or relatives also activate this mechanism. Your endocrine system learns to switch between activity and recovery modes. Men's dopamine receptors respond uniquely to female approval. When a woman expresses support or admiration, the mesolimbic reward pathway is activated, but not as intensely as during goal achievement. This creates stable motivation without the risk of addiction. In contrast, validation from other men produces sharper but shorter dopamine spikes. Integration of all these signals occurs at a level beyond consciousness. The male brain integrates chemical, emotional, and physical signals from the partner through salience networks, systems that determine the importance of information. When a woman nearby feels unwell on any level, the male brain unconsciously shifts into heightened alertness, even if he is not consciously aware of it. This activates a stress response not because he thinks about her problems, but because his limbic system automatically reacts to chemical danger signals. Ask your partner to express specific gratitude for your actions, not general phrases like, "you're great," but detailed descriptions of what exactly she appreciates. This creates neural connections that reinforce beneficial habits. At the same time, learn to distinguish genuine appreciation from formal politeness. Your brain subtly feels the difference. Men's circadian rhythms synchronize with women's through pheromones and shared daily routines. Melatonin begins to be produced more regularly when there is a steady partner nearby. This improves deep sleep, during which tissue regeneration and memory consolidation occur. Gabriel Marcel distinguished between a problem and a mystery. A problem can be solved externally, but a mystery requires personal participation. Men's health in its dependence on women's health is a Marcelian mystery. It cannot be solved technically, but can be lived through with awareness that our biological integrity always includes the presence of the other. If you have sleep problems, analyze whether you spend enough time with women in the evening hours. This is not about physical intimacy. Simply being in the same room with a woman affects the production of sleep hormones. Create shared evening rituals that signal the body about the approach of night. The temptation of reductionism always lies in simplifying the complex. One could say that men's health depends on women's solely through hormonal mechanisms, or that a woman's physical state affects a man only mentally. But such linear logic fails to capture the true nature of the phenomenon. Henri Bergson, in Creative Evolution, warned against false recognition, the tendency to break down living processes into mechanical parts. The interdependence of male and female health is not a chain of causes and effects, but what he called élan vital, a dynamic wholeness where each element exists through all the others.
When we try to separate the hormonal from the mental, the physical from the emotional, we destroy precisely what makes this system alive. The cascading interaction between different levels of organization, from molecular to existential, creates a new reality that cannot be reduced to the sum of its parts.